Thanks for tuning in to the Old Dirty Basement. On this week's episode, we're covering Marshall Herff Applewhite.
Yeah, was he a visionary leader or was he a deluded and manipulative man?
Yeah, this guy was knocking on heaven's gate.
Yeah, right. We hope you're enjoying the podcast, and if you are, leave us that 5-star rating on Spotify. On Apple, leave us a written review, and sit back, relax, and enjoy Marshall Herff Applewhite Jr.
This is the Old Dirty Basement, home to debauchery, madness, murder, and mayhem. A terror-filled train ride deep into the depths of the devil's den.
With a little bit of humor,
History.
And copious consciousness.
I'm your announcer, Shallow Throat. Your hosts are Dave, Matt, and Zap. I love you, Matthew McConaughey. All right, all right, all right.
hey, this is Dave,
Matt,
And Zap.
and welcome to the Old Dirty Basement.
where every week we cover a true crime.
Murder.
Or compelling story.
So sit back.
Relax.
And comprehend.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Old Dirty Basement. I am Matt. With me always is Dave and Zap. How you guys doing?
Doing well.
All right.
Buenos nachos.
I was waiting for you to say exquisite episode. I like that when you said that.
Exquisite.
Another exquisite
Oh,
episode.
I have to put that to memory.
Step up the game there.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Some fancy words.
You're a very cunning linguist.
Indeed.
So this one, again, Matt, your choice.
Yeah, I know. I'm like all over the place.
Just like the movie,
Yeah.
Marshall Applewhite, right?
Yeah, we're
Yes.
doing Marshall Applewhite today.
Which more people might know him from the Heaven's Gate. If
There
you
it
might
is.
have heard of that.
I completely forgot about this. Now, at the same time, like I forgot about a lot of stuff that happened at any point after I graduated high school. Like there was a point of, I don't know. I'm sorry, not even high school. Well, maybe high school, but Christ, from like 18 to late 20s, I forget a lot of that shit.
I just remember those mad Nike kicks, which
Yes.
we'll get into later, but like they were hard to come by.
For sure.
I don't know where they got them or whatever, but I just remember, man, those are some
Now, as
cool kicks.
as it goes with these cults and stuff like that, is this after David Koresh and all that? The one down in...
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, I was just curious.
This happened a little bit later. This was with that whole the comet thing we'll talk about. in a
Oh,
little
that's
bit, I'm
right. That's
sure.
right. That's right. We'll get into all that. Yeah, so Matt, this is your choice, and I know, Zap, you did up some nice research here, so I'm excited to get
this
into
is
it.
Spot on.
Some deep digging on
This
this
is
guy.
a dig dive.
Right.
Or was it also just Marshall Herff Applewhite, or was there one other person maybe?
I mean, maybe
Maybe
the
mostly
guy
with him.
had quite a life. So,
Yeah.
well, fuck it. Let's find out.
Yeah, he's an interesting cat.
Let's dig into this dig dug. All right, Marshall Herff Applewhite Jr. was born on May 17th, 1931.
Damn, he's old.
Shit, yeah, in Spur, Texas. Matt, is there a Texas thing in your
I know
head?
that there's like a Texas theme going on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Johnny B. Good, which is went down in Texas, and now we're talking about Marshall Herff Applewhite Jr.
The stars at night are big and bright.
So this dude came out of Texas. He was raised in a deeply religious family, as his father, same name, Marshall Herff Applewhite Sr., was a Presbyterian minister.
Like Robert Downey.
That's right, just
Senior. Yeah.
dude.
Man, so many parallels here.
Wow.
a lot of
This
parallels.
is insane.
Man, Robert Downey Jr., Robert Downey Sr., Herff Jr. and Sr.,
Texas.
Texas, Jr. and
Presbyterian.
Sr. Oh, maybe.
Maybe.
So this guy attended Corpus Christi High School. Typical kid, actually a pretty nice guy, known for his charismatic personality, musical talent, very active member of the school choir,
Yeah,
and
quite a singer.
and a drama club. Sounds to me just like a normal dude out of Texas. I mean, you got a good religious background, come from a wholesome family. This guy's outgoing, charismatic. I mean, sounds like a normal dude to me.
Fun fact on that town, he's from a very small town. I think the population is like under 1,000 or something like that. But somebody else that was from that town, another famous person. Now, you might not know the name, but Red McCombs. So this guy owned the San Antonio Spurs, who he named the Spurs after the town.
Spur,
I had
Texas.
no idea.
That is a cool fun fact.
Also owned
Who owned the Spurs?
Who owned the Spurs? Yeah. Also the Denver Nuggets he owned at one time, and the
this guy got some cash.
Dang.
and on top of all that, at one time owned the NFL's Minnesota Vikings.
Oh.
So I thought that was pretty wild, and that he named the town or the Spurs after the town.
His name again,
cool.
Red
McCombs.
I think Red's like is that a nickname? It's because a lot of guys like from
maybe
Texas.
he had red hair or something like that.
Yeah, they call him like Big Red or Old Red.
And I was thinking also of Red McCombs, but wasn't there a host of like Family Feud? That was Ray McCombs or something like that. There was a name similar to
Ray
that.
Combs.
Ray Combs, yeah. Different guy.
Wait, who was the guy that did the original host of Family Feud?
Dawson.
Yeah.
Richard Dawson. That guy was awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, that guy was touchy.
He'd be like,
Big time.
"Hey, what's up there, Becky?" Yeah.
Look, I know that. Look, I'll be the first one to admit that I'm a hugger, and just because hugs are great, right? I'm a hugger. I don't care, man, woman. I'm a hugger.
No, this dude was a kisser.
This guy was a fucking perv, man.
Oh yeah.
He was like, "What's up, Leslie? We are what? Are you 18?" She's like, "Yeah, why?"
Dude, he's like,
"Oh, bring it in here."
Flicking his tongue on their ears and shit.
He was causing Family Feud.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
On that show.
Dirty Dawson.
So one thing why we want to keep in mind here about this guy, this Marshall Applewhite. So his dad was that Presbyterian minister. So this is Christian, like, you know what I mean.
Christian pushed on you very much at an early age.
This is Protestant Christian, and I got to believe that this religious upbringing had a profound influence on his early life that would likely maybe later shape his spiritual pursuits. I don't know. Maybe.
To be seen.
One other thing, Corpus Crispy.
Corpus Krispies.
Yeah,
they're delicious.
They come in chocolate.
Yeah, Corpus Crispy.
Get your Corpus Krispies.
Yeah, it's a good one.
They got fruity Christies.
Yeah. Corpus Christi, Latin for body of Christ.
That is correct.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty wild.
Dorcas Malorcas.
Was that
Dorcas Malorcas.
a Catholic high school or a Catholic school?
Well, no, the town.
No, I'm saying
I'm sorry. Yeah,
he
the high
attended
school.
Corpus Christi, so I wonder if that was a Catholic.
It could have been both.
I don't know if they had many Catholic schools in Texas. Maybe, I don't know.
I mean, so Corpus Christi,
Had to have been.
the body of Christ, Latin. I got to believe that was a Catholic high school.
Yep.
Got to believe it. But at the same time, it's called Corpus Christi High School because it's in
Corpus Christi.
Christi, Texas.
Exactly.
So there's
Yeah, that's a tough one.
It's
That's what I'm
chocolate
saying.
or fruity. We should find out.
right.
Well, I mean, half those places in Texas were founded by the Mexicans walked up on through. So it's like everything was a santo or a saint or a san.
San Antonio.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, dude. El Paso.
So that's, the same as Corpus Christi. It was Corpus Christi High School because it was in Corpus Christi, but who knows?
And that was Albuquerque was what we say white birch.
White birch, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great beer. I love birch beer.
The white kind or the really dark red kind?
The really dark red kind.
Yeah.
They're the white kind. They do have that, but the dark red kind, you can't beat it.
You can't beat it.
That's what they have at Jackson House.
That color makes a difference.
I got to get there.
That's right. They have Pennsylvania Dutch, the red birch beer. That's right. Shout out.
Shout out Jackson House.
Jackson House. In the house.
All right. Let's move on to Marshall Applewhite's young adulthood, shall we?
Yes, let's find out.
So, after high school, he attended Austin College in Sherman, Texas.
Not Boston College.
Not Boston. Austin.
Wouldn't Austin College be in Austin, Texas? I guess not.
Not necessarily.
Texas is so confusing. That's a big-ass confusing state.
Fun fact about Texas. East to west, the distance in Texas from east to west is a greater distance than from here, Harrisburg. To Chicago.
No
Good
way.
Lord.
100%.
Wow.
It's a shorter distance as the crow flies from here to Chicago than it is from east to west Texas.
Texas is a cool place. It's a
Tip
cool
to
place to
tip.
visit. If anybody gets a chance, Dallas is nice.
Blowing my mind.
Amarillo.
Over that, man. That's crazy.
Crazy, man. It's a big
It's
ass
a big state. You fit all of Europe in there and have room for more Europe.
So, still in college, moving on to college, still a very outgoing, charismatic dude, had a lot of friends. He might have had a major and whatnot, but he remained deeply interested in philosophy and religion. He continued to cultivate his musical talents, performing in choirs and theatrical production. So, a man of the stage as well. Ultimately earned a bachelor's degree in philosophy in 1952. So at that, let's see, he was born in 31, earned it in 52. He was 21 years old.
Smart guy.
Yeah.
He did it in 4 years.
Yep.
Good job. Good job. After graduation, he went on to Union Presbyterian Seminary in Virginia.
So he's going to be a preacher man.
Correct.
Like his dad.
Yep. He got his bachelor's. Now he's going on to his postgraduate to be a whatever they are.
So studying a lot
Preacher man.
of a lot of psychology, a lot of theology.
Definitely on the
Yeah.
theology.
And you're not doing that for money. Like, you're not going into that line of work to be rich or anything like that.
Well,
Unless-
depending. There was people back in the day that did. Like
Sure.
those little
Yeah.
traveling tent.
Well, there was Jerry Falwell,
Yeah.
Joel Osteen.
Joel Olstein. There was Bob. Tammy Faye
Baker.
Bob Baker.
No, not Bob Barker.
No, Jim Baker.
Jim Baker, not Bob.
Jim and Tammy Faye.
Jim and Tammy. Thank you.
Yeah, but there's a lot of money to be made and a lot of people that were easily influenced.
Sure.
Right.
And I guess that's a cult thing also.
Maybe.
Religion, cult, religion. I don't know.
It's all some form of it, for sure.
Yes.
Let's see. Oh, so while in the seminary, he met and married Anne Pierce, with whom he would go on to have 2 sons. However, his tenure at the seminary was short-lived. He left the institution in the early 50s, struggling with his faith and grappling with his emerging, throbbing, carnal urges for sex with men.
Yes.
Yeah.
He knew Dad would not like that.
That is a no-no for Christian ministers.
But I mean, there were some giveaways here.
Right.
Not to be.
No, I know what you mean, though. But I had 2 questions for that. So I wonder, and maybe you don't know, maybe you do know this. So
You don't
I
even know.
You don't even know. How did he meet her, I wonder? If you're in a seminary, like
It's not like a seminary like you're thinking like a Catholic seminary.
like monks and stuff.
Yeah, this is like a Presbyterian. They go to be a priest, but these priests marry. And
But they're sock hops and stuff. They got girls coming dancing.
So look, man. So in the Catholic religion, you go to the seminary, it's no girls.
Yeah,
ever
no girls
again.
allowed.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
it's an all boys club.
Easy.
Yeah.
Now you go to the Protestant side, marriage is welcome. That's how you're trying to propagate the faith, propagate the race, human race.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
they're
I don't know any
different.
ministers who aren't married.
Right. So okay. So
True,
then there
true.
were probably like
Yeah,
girls around or
They're
whatever.
looking
you
for
know what I
wives.
mean?
They're going like out, not just like like going to the sock hop, but like they're meeting people. Also, I guess there's a lot of women that are attracted to
Like
men
priests.
of the faith.
Men of faith,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Not like the Thornbirds type thing. I don't know if you guys know what that is. It was like-
man in uniform.
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Thornburg, wasn't that the Pennsylvania governor during the TMI thing?
No, that was not Dick
Yeah.
Thornburg.
Oh, Thornburg.
No, it was a show on TV back in like I think the 80s. It was the Thornbirds.
That's
It was
true.
about like a priest that was
A player.
yeah. He really liked this lady and she liked him and they had relations.
Relations.
Damn.
He had throbbing.
And I remember they
carnal
played
urges.
it. They played it on. It was on television, and I guess it was like a big deal back then because it was kind of like taboo.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
that question. My other one was he pushed out by them or did he leave on his own? Do you know? Like, was it like they were like, you got to get out, or was he kind of like, did he make that decision on his own? do
He
you
wasn't.
think?
Yeah. So he wasn't pushed out. He left on his own volition.
It's because of his throbbing cojones
His throbbing
For-
carnal urges.
Temptation.
for the man.
Yeah. So he's grappling with this
Yeah, religion,
conflict.
and it's
He's like, look,
it's not right, but I'm feeling this way.
God's telling me this is a no-no. I shouldn't be having these desires for men. That's gay, homosexual. I shouldn't be doing that. And yet,
God is telling me no.
God
My
says
body.
no, but my junk says yes.
Yes.
So he said, "Look, I can't be a Presbyterian minister. I can't because I like the boys here. I can't do that. It's Frank and beans all day for me."
Well, good for him though to get out if he you
Sure,
know.
absolutely.
Well, I guess there wouldn't have been any. They're all of age or whatever. They're all the same age. There wasn't any of that.
Yep.
So
Well, let's all remember.
Yeah, he wasn't into the youngers.
The pedophile
He just
stuff.
he was just
Yeah.
having conflicts.
Yeah,
Right.
he's into dudes.
right.
He's into junk.
Bush.
Well, let's remember that those who can do, and those who can't teach.
Is that Yoda?
No,
Oh,
that's actually Jack Black from School of Rock.
School of Rock.
is that
Yes.
what that's from?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I just watched that. That's actually a really good movie.
It's a very good,
very,
movie.
very good movie.
It's motivating, uplifting,
Yes.
and uplifting.
It is. I like that movie.
So, with thoughts of cocks on his mind, he...
Did you write that in there?
No.
Okay.
I wrote that in my brain. So he turned his attention fully to music, earning a master's degree in music from the University of Colorado.
Go Buffs.
Yeah, Buffaloes.
He began his career in the arts by teaching music at varying institutions, including the University of Alabama.
Damn, this guy is
All over the place.
yeah, right.
Well, he was
Those are good institutions.
Yeah, he was highly regarded for his work with the university choir, in fact. Now, in 1965, Applewhite was dismissed from his position. This is because he'd had a romantic relationship with a male student, which at the time was considered scandalous. I don't know nowadays, especially in school and
Well, I would think with college.
wokeness and all of that stuff.
Well, I was thinking too. Yeah, I doubt it.
I want you to have an affair with a male student, all right, guy?
I think it's like one of the check boxes on the application.
But in college, they're of age, but it's also that authoritative figure. You know what I'm saying? That
And
they would
you're talking in the mid 60s where it was absolutely frowned upon to have any kind of anything like that.
But even today,
well,
it's
I'm just
still, like
saying-
Dave's saying, it's still frowned upon. You still can't have relations with students, be it male or female.
even if they're of age, just
Yeah.
because of the you're in a.
I think you sign a contract for that.
I would think. I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe not.
College?
Yes, like a teacher can't.
A professor, really?
Yeah, a
Can, like, hook
professor,
up?
because if
Shit, yeah.
Well, wouldn't that go against
yeah,
code
but
of
if
ethics
you're
and stuff?
teaching, it's a code of ethics thing
'Cause then
because
your
you were
grade-
getting better grades.
Yeah.
They would have it's like having like in the workplace, like if you're having a relationship with somebody that you're working with, you have to sign like a agreement or whatever, right?
I don't
I
know
would
shit
think-
about that.
Well, even like you said, in a workplace, like a
Yeah, like
manager.
I'm having relations with my manager. Okay, well we have to move you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Maybe.
Like I think there's something they sign for a school that you can't do that. You can be fired for something like that.
I
Maybe.
don't know, but in the '60s, it's easier to hide.
Yeah, sure. No internet. Well, with this, scandalous thing in his history now, he ended up moving to Houston, Texas, back to Texas, where he took a position as the chair of the music department at St. Thomas University.
Go St. Thomas.
Now, let's not forget, this dude was married at the time with 2 kids. And how do you go home and explain to your wife, hey, man, I kind of lost my job because, I'm, having an affair with a male student.
Well, like it is 1965. So there wasn't, he just went home. Hey, I got fired from my job,
I
or
had to give
something.
an
Yes,
excuse,
something
yeah.
happened.
Maybe. Well,
yeah, I don't think it was that hard to cover up.
I don't know. This guy was still a man of the faith. I'm sure he kept some
Yes.
kind of, maybe he didn't lie too much to his wife. But either way, despite being favored by his colleagues and students at St. Thomas University, his personal life remained in turmoil. His marriage ended in divorce, and he struggled with his identity and purpose. Ultimately, he resigned from St. Thomas University in 1970 after, yet another affair with a male student.
This came up there was a good documentary
I
on
see a
it,
pattern forming here.
for sure. There was a good documentary on Ashley Madison on Netflix.
Yeah.
And it's reminds me of this a little bit, except the guy was having an affair with a married woman, right? On this Ashley Madison list came out. He was working at a seminary as a professor there. He came home and instead of telling his wife, like, this is what I got fired from my job because my name was on this Ashley Madison list, he ended up committing suicide.
Sure.
Because he worked at a seminary. They let him go because he's basically cheating on his wife, and you're teaching at this university, this seminary or whatever. It was one of them deals where she was going to find out because that list is public, and we talked about with the internet, it was going to come around anyhow. But the wife obviously was devastated. She's like, I would have forgave him
To kill
You know what I mean?
yourself.
Yeah, but
that's insane.
yeah, but similar situation to this where he got fired. He had to go home and probably tell his wife, but he probably could have made something up.
Sure.
A little bit easier.
I got busted for stealing pens or some shit.
A little bit easier than killing yourself.
Yeah.
Well, you could have made something up, which is a little bit easier than saying, yeah, I got fired for
Yeah, for doing this.
having gay man sex with a male student.
He could have just said I stole money out of the whatever.
Out of the collection.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think if you're having sex with a student, a male student, you're gonna
Tell your
have
wife.
any qualms about telling her something like, oh yeah, it was something with appropriated funds or something.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Again, I got busted
he-
stealing pens.
Yeah.
Something. Pencils. Number 2. All right. So this guy, what's he going to do with his life?
I
Well,
wanna rock.
that's right. He moved to New Mexico. not old Mexico.
The new one. There's a new Mexico.
There's a shiny.
There is a new Mexico.
It's shiny. In 1971, and he opened a deli.
Oh, look at this guy.
It failed.
Yeah.
With that failure after failure after failure, he returned to his parents' place in Spur, Texas, later that year to help care for his ailing father, who died not long after. Now, amidst a period of profound personal crisis, he voluntarily admitted himself to a psychiatric hospital. It was here that he began to experience what he would later describe as a spiritual awakening, which paved the way for his future religious endeavors.
So at this point, he's like 40 years old, like in his 40s.
He is 40. He is exactly 40 years old. And this guy has, he thought, hey, man, I can be just like Dad. It's my dad inspires me. It motivates me. Like, I want to be a man of faith. I'm going to get into this. Shit, I can't do that because I'm into dudes. So I guess I could go teach. Shit, I'm getting fired from my teaching jobs because I'm banging male students. Okay, maybe I can open a deli because there's meat.
Yeah.
I can slice meat.
Yeah.
Shit, I failed at the deli. I'm going back home. I'm going to figure things out. I'm just going to hit the reset button. This is my midlife crisis at 40. I'm just going to go home and live with my parents. Shit, my dad died. So, I mean, this guy's basically trying at life and failing at life. Like, that's got to hurt, man.
He's still living. He's still doing all right.
Look, I'll tell you, the dead only know one thing. It is better to be alive.
Yep.
True that.
And that, I mean, around that age, we're a little bit older than that, but we're, in our 40s as well. And this is a time of life where I think you start to have revelations about things, the way you look at life and everything. So I think it's probably at this point in his life, he's like starting to think differently, and maybe, so that makes sense. That, especially if he went to therapy.
This is the point where you just want to take shrooms and go for a walk.
Right.
So, look, good for him. If nothing else, I applaud that he checked himself into a psychiatric hospital. I mean, otherwise he'd just be spinning, absolutely just spinning his wheels, failing again, failing and failing. Maybe he needed that help.
But he was mentally right to know that he needed to put himself in something for help.
Right
so
on.
he's not like this dude's not nuts or anything. He's a smart guy.
Smart dude. Really smart dude. And again, dude, with the music background and the charismatic personality, and he's in the drama club and he's doing whatever the hell he's doing. Like, he's got there's a calling for him.
Yeah, I'm pulling for this guy.
He's just tortured, I think.
Yeah.
I'm holding out hope. And Dave, I agree. I think he's just tortured. Well, let us always remember that when life closes a door, God opens a window.
And God is here tonight.
The Hugh Hefner on high.
Yeah.
I feel it.
They can't
Preach on, brother.
They can't make it. All right. In 1972, old Marshall met this broad named Bonnie Nettles, who was a nurse with a husband and 4 kids and a keen interest in biblical philosophy and mysticism.
Who is this Bonnie lady?
This was the defining moment in Applewhite's life.
This is where it happened.
He hit the reset button here. The pair quickly formed an intense, non-romantic bond and discovered they shared a fascination with spirituality and the metaphysical.
Metaphysical being the word.
It didn't take long for Nettles' husband to leave her, taking the kids with him.
He said, "Bitch, be crazy."
Yeah,
she's spending all this time. She's spending all this time with this dude that just got out of the psych ward.
Yeah.
So, equally at the same time, by now, Applewhite had broken off all contact with his family too. Like, all they did was share every waking moment together.
Hang out. Yeah.
So Nettles, who had a background in astrology and theosophy, introduced Applewhite to a new world of teachings.
Again, the astrology thing being key right here.
Yeah. They began to study a range of subjects, including sci-fi literature, biblical texts, and the writings of philosophers like Helena Blavatsky and Aleister Crowley.
Who was a devil worshiper.
He was an interesting dude. He definitely knew some occult shit for sure. Together, they developed a mutual belief that they were the 2 witnesses prophesied in the book of Revelation who would guide their followers to the kingdom of heaven.
That's wild.
So that's a lot to unpack there. That's a lot to unpack. So the crib notes on this, or the clip notes, I should say, these 2 met. they're changing their whole minds on religion, and they're convincing each other of what religion should be. And hell, not as that's all going on, they're now convincing each other, hey man, we're the two that were written about thousands of years ago in the book of Revelation, that we're those two. We are the two witnesses that they describe in the book of Revelation. That's us.
Was there drug use involved in this?
See, I think Dave's onto something there.
Maybe. Is there?
I don't know. I'm wondering.
But I don't know. Like,
I didn't see
they
anything.
didn't really say anything. That's what, because I watched the Max documentary on this. Did you see that?
I did not. No.
Okay, yeah. There was a lot of, I mean, the people that followed him, there was drugs involved, but then they came to the point where like you're not allowed like the drugs and stuff like that. But I think this was just them talking to each other so much. I mean, they're both well educated in theology, religion. They have backgrounds in it, and I think they just kind of mind fucked each other to the point where, you know what, we're right.
I think I'm with you on that, Matt. And I think it took you saying that to really bring me to the idea of, you know, if you have a successful person or even a not successful person, if they're surrounded by yes men constantly, they're going to think that anything they say is right.
Right.
So these two were each other's best and biggest yes men.
Yeah, they were advocates for each other's minds.
Yeah, dude. It
just went in a circle of, we're right.
It's some crazy ass shit.
I just would think that the drugs would enhance all this, like,
you're thinking like, when you're young and you're high, you start like looking at the sky with your friends, and you're like, man, look what's out there. It's crazy.
And reading into things, like, you know what I mean? I think it helps intensify it, you know what I mean?
Maybe. I don't know, man.
Like if you smoke the big Marley joint, you're like picking up the soap in the bathroom, like my hand is so big.
Yeah. Why does it look like
story?
that?
I definitely remember that story. So I was mentioned in here that they were into sci-fi literature. So the sci-fi literature specifically that they were into was this book called something of the gods, the ship of the, it's not the hammer of the gods. It's the
hammer of the gods.
Correct. Anyway, it's this.
They were into Zeppelin.
Chariots of the Gods. That's what it is. Chariots of the Gods. And what it is, it's about essentially ancient aliens that, like the concept of, if you've seen Prometheus, the Alien prequel.
I want to see that. Yeah.
Ooh.
So
is that good?
It's his base. Oh, Prometheus is awesome. It's incredible.
Yeah, my son wants to see it.
So the original, the OG Prometheus, it came out like 10 years ago.
Yeah. I remember the name.
The idea is that these alien astronauts had come to Earth a long time ago, and they are the ones that had, when you read in biblical texts, or you like look at the Egyptians, like they worship the sun, or they talk about a god here and a god there and some other guy, and you can even read in biblical texts, you know, when they talk about angels, right, that came down from the heavens and shit like that. There are theorists out there, one in particular who wrote this book back in the 60s called Chariots of the Gods, that would argue and happy to explain to you that there's no such that what these people were seeing wasn't exactly God. Instead, it was aliens that came to Earth a long time ago and were basically gods to these humans 2,000 years ago.
Right. Yeah, I love that stuff. They talk about that on Rogan all the time.
So there's Rogan. There's a show on History Channel called Ancient Aliens.
Oh, yeah.
The guy with the fucking hair.
I love that one.
Dude, that's a great show, bruh.
Yeah.
Another one, check that out.
Yeah, there's one black guy that goes on Rogan, and he's real knowledgeable and all that. What you're talking about, these ancient aliens that came down, and they kind of made a hybrid. It's like a version of them, like, mixed with a human.
Yeah.
And
like an alien had sex with a caveman.
Right.
Is that where you get like the lizard people from? Is that like that whole thing with that?
It's all kinds of wild stuff like that. And then there's also like I think it was him or another guy that was on there, these theories that like these aliens put us here on Earth. This is kind of like our
their playground.
This is like our kind of training grounds.
Yep.
This is where we see if we're good enough to continue on.
Yep.
Yeah, it's wild stuff, man.
So
and this is probably where they're digging a lot of their
they were
wild stuff.
They were dipping into that and the Bible and philosophy and all kind of shit like that. And at this point, they have determined that they are the existing incarnations of what are called the two witnesses, and it's written right in the book of Revelation. Yeah, they're them.
That's wild.
Let's see what happens next year. In 1974, Applewhite was arrested and jailed for 6 months for failing to return a rental car.
What a goof.
Now, according to him, he had been authorized by a higher power to keep the car. Essentially, he told the rental company, fuck you, I'm not bringing it back. God told me this is my car.
That doesn't hold up in court.
It does not. And not surprisingly, Applewhite's and Nettle's divinity ultimately took a subtle detour. Their mutual belief shifted from being the two witnesses from the book of Revelation to now believing they were extraterrestrials.
E.T., we just covered that.
Yeah, right.
One more time. They are not the two mentioned in the book of Revelation. They are now extraterrestrials.
Aliens.
Yeah. Their teachings combined elements of Christianity, New Age mysticism, and UFO lore. They preached that they were extraterrestrial beings who had temporarily taken on human form to help their followers achieve a next level of existence. Now, next level was an ascended state that transcended the human condition, free from the limitations and suffering of earthly life.
Isn't that like the Mormon religion? Or what's the Scientology, like the levels?
No, you're right with the Mormons.
It's the same as, okay, it's the same as the Mormons.
The Mormons, so whomever Joseph Smith received these scrolls from some alien or some angel alien that delivered them to him.
That's what the Mormon stuff is?
Yeah, that's Mormon.
The Latter-day Saints? And all that? Oh, wow.
You didn't know that? It's all based on an alien script.
So we read the whatever version of the Bible. You've heard things like the King James Bible or the whatever Bible. We use like the New English Bible or the current English Bible. Book of Mormon uses basically the Joseph Smith Bible.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
His teachings. That's it. But yeah, it was due
Hubbard.
to that's Dianetics.
So that's Scientology.
That's Scientology.
Yeah.
But that's based on the levels too. However much money you pay into it is how high of a level that you achieve. But they go into like rooms where they like watch videos. I don't know. It's great. All religions are kind of crazy in their own little way.
It's true.
It is. It's
look, man. It's true. When we let's say Catholics, right? And so there's three of us here, and we will look down at and poo-poo the concept of cult, and we'll say, man, that's a cult, that's a cult, that's a cult. Well, look, man, we're in essentially the equivalent of a cult that's been around for close to 2,000 years.
Yeah,
yes. I mean, Jesus has been around for 2,000, and it was based on an Egyptian religion that's been around longer than that.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, faith is, I mean, you don't really mess with people's faith. It gives them something to hold on.
That's right.
Yes.
Something to believe in. But if you can find people,
Brett Michaels,
on point. But if you can find something that gives these people that kind of hope or that kind of something to believe in,
right.
I mean, you can attract a lot of people. And
he's going on tour.
Yeah, Brett Michaels.
He was just at
Hollywood,
yeah.
Casino.
Yeah, but I totally agree with you guys. Like, I try to be respectful to all religions because I look at it like, as long as you're a good person and you're, you know what I mean?
Yeah, if you're not
it doesn't
killing
matter
somebody.
to me, like, whatever. You want to believe whatever you want to believe. You don't want to believe at all. I'm not one of those people to be like, what do you mean, you know?
All right. So, yeah, these guys have shifted. So, let's see. What do you do next? Well, let's start a cult.
Why not?
By 1975, Applewhite and Nettles had adopted the names Bo and Peep, respectively, and had recruited followers to their cause. They traveled across the United States, holding meetings and sharing their message.
Did you get to do you have the T and O on here too?
I'm getting there.
Okay.
To recruit followers, they often placed ads in alternative newspapers and used outreach techniques reminiscent of evangelical movements.
It was like the Nirvana Times.
Yeah. I think you're basically putting like a 8.5 by 11 piece of paper on a telephone pole or on a billboard with the little tabs at the bottom that you can pull off. Yeah. So their message was tailored to resonate with those who felt disillusioned by conventional religion or social norms. It wasn't long before they'd recruited a few hundred members. The group was initially called Human Individual Metamorphosis, or HIM, but after a handful of other iterations, it would ultimately settle on the name Heaven's Gate. So, just like the last segment, there's a lot to unpack with this one.
Yeah.
Especially the part that harkens back to whoever was talking about drug use.
I said that. I asked if there was
questioning about drug use. So it would not surprise me if the followers were potentially drug users.
Hippies and beatniks, I think was what any kind of cult
you're
went
trying
for.
to think of. We did Charles Manson, right?
Yep.
Same concept. You get a charismatic person and you have someone who is disillusioned or just some beatnik or somebody who doesn't know what they want to be when they grow up, or somebody with daddy issues, or somebody who, let's say, like at the time might have been gay or might have been, not with the norm, the social norm.
Or hated what was going on with the world, like with wars, or, you know what I mean? Just somebody that was against the norm, like Zap's saying.
And with that, again, or rejected, more often than not, rejected by normalcy.
And we sometimes say
they didn't have a place to belong.
We sometimes say like these people were crazy, but a lot of them were like younger, intelligent, like college educated, liberal arts type people.
People are sometimes just loners, and they don't.
Yeah,
they don't
and you want something that is you can.
You want to be a part of.
Yeah.
You want to be a part of something bigger than yourself.
I mean, look at high school. Look like in high school, there was always a couple kids that kind of like were off doing their own thing. I mean, just didn't quite fit into like circles or, groups of people.
And now they're in jail.
Well, not necessarily. But
joke. Not all of them.
No, a couple.
I could see where these groups and these cults are like, for some people, it's like, oh, I finally fit in somewhere, or finally somewhere where I feel like I'm at home. You know what I mean? Like, not everybody's going to conform and kind of like fit in.
Yeah, and they didn't judge you because like you weren't cool in high school. They didn't judge you because you smoke weed or do acid. Like it was something that this was what you thought and who you were. But like, come on in and we'll teach you to be somebody better.
All right. Well, we are now knocking on heaven's gate. Early followers included people from various walks of life. You had professionals, students, parents, you name it. Again, just normal everyday people. The group lived a nomadic lifestyle, frequently moving to avoid the scrutiny of families and authorities who were, shall we say, concerned about the well-being of the members. Heaven's Gate was characterized by strict communal living and adherence to a stringent set of guidelines.
Yeah, they had like huge books of like what you can do and what you cannot, and they weren't one of these like sex cults or anything. Like everything was based pretty much religion based, like on what a good moral type standing would be.
Yep, it was two people defining morality. Now these things included so members were expected to follow a specific diet, participate in group activities, and wear uniform like clothing, thereby eliminating individualism and promoting spiritual purity. Members were required to renounce their families, personal belongings, and even their birth names. Members were to embrace an ascetic lifestyle. So this is severe self-discipline and abstention from all indulgences, including sexuality. So in some cases, now with that, in some cases, male members actually underwent voluntary castration as a means of maintaining celibacy and purity.
That's what surprised me about this cult. A lot of the ones that I hear about are usually like sexually driven, where usually it's a guy running it, and he's usually trying to like hammer everybody's wife. You know what I'm saying? Or like any girl that's there. Right. And there's none of that here.
This one was the complete opposite. No sex.
Yeah, no sex.
Zero sex.
I think both the leaders of the cult, like the one was a gay man, and the other was like, I guess she was like asexual type. Like they weren't really into that. That's not what they were focusing on.
Then you wonder. You wonder where the motive is, what the motive is. So maybe in their head, they really believe in all this. You know what I mean? I think with a lot of these other ones, like I think it's more like, let me get your money and let me get sex.
Yeah.
And let me live off of, everybody else.
These guys fucking believed it.
Yeah. They did, really.
I mean, they were balls deep. They weren't trying to, get one over on people. They were 100%, they believed in this. The two leaders, I'm saying. So I think with the idea of eliminating sexuality, in my humble opinion, I think this was a look back on Applewhite's part, where he's like, look, man,
it'll get you in trouble.
My desire for men, my sexual throbbing carnal urges here, that's what got me busted out of jobs and whatever for the first 40 years of my life. We got to just eliminate this. You eliminate that way you can focus on spirituality, purity, keep your mind on us. Or in most cases you can keep your mind on God, but in this case you're keeping your mind on me and Nettles here.
And they would go, and I guess you did get these uniforms. I don't know if you've seen. They're like these the all black uniform, and they would have like this patch that looked like a Space Force patch.
Yes,
and they'd be like, that says Heaven's Gate right there, and and they gave each other like their birth names were given away, so they had these names that everything ended with like Odie.
Yep.
So it'd be like it wasn't anything. It'd be like your name would be Dave Odie.
Peyote.
or Zapodi. No, it was any like Matodi. Like they thought they were like all original about this, but as long as they didn't have their birth given name, it was weird.
It was so the actual. If we want to get detailed on that, so it definitely ended in Odie, but the first it was 3 letters and then Odie.
Is that what it was? 3?
Everybody's name was the first 3 letters, some random 3 letters, and then Odie. The first 3 letters, however, were all consonants. So no vowels, all consonants. So it would be like Odie. Or
Grody.
Scrody. Right, you name it.
No consonants.
All
no
consonants,
vowels,
no
vowels. Like Wheel of Fortune.
Like Wheel of Fortune. I neglected to mention in one of the previous segments when they were still doing when they were still teaching that they were the 2 witnesses from the Book of Revelation. Applewhite and Nettles had actually written a pamphlet that described Jesus' reincarnation as a Texan. Like they described, hey, look, Jesus is back. And you know what? He looks like basically like the Marlboro Man, or he looks like this, or he has an accent that sounds like this.
Only in Texas.
Yeah. What they were trying to do was ultimately allude that Applewhite was the reincarnation of Jesus.
Was Jesus. Wow.
Fun fact on that. So back to these 2, Applewhite and Nettles, who at one point were Bo and Peep, and now are what are they called, Matt?
T and Doe.
Doe and T.
Doe and T. Yeah, and there's a fun fact about that.
There's a fun fact about that.
Okay, you want to hold off on that, or
hey, go for it. No, go right ahead.
Yeah, the fun fact is because Marshall Applewhite was so into music and stuff growing up, and I guess while they were sitting there talking, it was from The Sound of Music, where they la de do ti la. What is that? How do they do that? The winds are the hills are alive.
So it's do re mi fa sol la ti do.
Yes.
Is that like warming up when they're warming up to sing?
Yeah, it was just from the song, from The Sound of Music. So
interesting.
Yeah, because they were like music nuts. So it wasn't like that crazy. It wasn't like that out of this world.
Right.
Just like regular cats doing their thing.
Right. So do re mi fa sol la ti do is 8 notes. So there's 7 notes, and it repeats with A.
Gotcha.
There's 2 does, right? So it goes do all the way through do. Do re mi fa sol la ti do.
Do back again.
So yeah, come on, man, watch the goddamn movie. We should do
The Sound of Music.
We should do Sound of Music for podcast. That might be my next movie pick.
Yeah, I've seen it, but it's been a while.
It's fantastic. It used to be on like every before Christmas, right?
Every Christmas, every
Easter, yeah.
Glorious movie.
Remember, I am 16, going on 17. You don't remember that?
That's been so long, dude.
I don't know. My mom she would get hype, make some popcorn. Yeah, we all just sit around and watch it.
I love that movie. I'm going to watch that this weekend.
Remember the little kids and like ran up the stairs?
I know the movie. Yeah. I just like I mean, I saw it once probably when I was 10 or 11. I don't even know how old I was when I saw it.
You must have had cable back then.
It was after Johnny Be Good, I think. I watched it.
You know what?
You rented it from.
I rented it.
I was considering voluntary castration after I watched Johnny Be Good.
Yeah, right.
Like Marshall Applewhite.
Yeah, I don't need this anymore.
All right. So within this commune, daily life was highly regimented. Activities were scheduled down to the minute, including group meditation, study sessions, and tasks designed to build communal interdependence. Believers followed a commune lifestyle, eating simple meals and sleeping on bunk beds. So there was this thing. Every one of these members had I don't want to say guard is the right word. There was somebody who had already been around longer than they had.
Or they had like a person that would check. I think it was called like a check.
Something. Yeah, let's call it a check.
Let's call it a check. Yeah.
So they had this check. Every member had a check. I don't care who you are. Every member had a check, and this is somebody that's basically making sure that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Equally, you could be somebody else's check, making sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. It was just to make sure that nobody's falling out of line. Nobody's having independent thoughts. Nobody's thinking about breaking out and going wherever the hell they want to go. Nobody's sneaking in pizza or popcorn or dildos.
Yeah, but like, hey, Dave or Zap, like Susie Beth looking pretty cute over there. Like, oh, whoa, check yourself.
Yeah,
nah, man,
exactly.
Hey, let's go pick some carrots.
Yeah, so like a buddy system.
Yeah,
and you're just like watching up.
Just so the other person can tell you.
That can backfire though.
It's like AA.
Yeah,
It is.
It is.
Yeah.
But that can backfire. I remember in grade school, like I was always like really good with doing my homework and all that. I got hooked up with this kid that basically we had a buddy system. The teacher was like, "Hey, I'm not going to check all your homework. You guys check each other, and you'll pair up with somebody."
Oh, Jesus.
I paired up with this kid. It was like,
Fuck it, I'm not going to do it if you
he's
don't
like,
do it.
He's like, no. He's like, I don't do
You
it.
just filled it in.
He's like, I don't do it. You don't have to do it. Like, we'll just mark it down. I'm like, all right, sounds good, man. And I just didn't do my homework,
Yep.
and he didn't do his homework. I'm like, man, bad influence.
That's a good buddy to have, though. But it's a bad buddy.
It's a good and bad.
because you're not learning.
I wasn't learning for
And you
just a
go
little
learn,
bit.
Trey.
Just for a little bit.
and it's driving to work at 5 a.m.
Yeah, that's why I'm in that Matt McConaughey meme.
There it is.
But yeah, so that can backfire.
Matt McConaughey. All right. I forgot all about that. All right. So this group believed in preparing for an imminent ascension to a higher plane of existence, facilitated by extraterrestrial beings. Applewhite Nettles taught that the human body was merely a vehicle for the soul, which could be shed in the process of ascending to that next level. But just when things were going great, Bonnie Nettles died from liver cancer in 1985. So this was, as you can imagine, a big blow to the group,
Yeah.
as she was the more spiritually knowledgeable of the two leaders. Applewhite pivoted and adapted his teachings to explain that her death was actually necessary and an expected transition, one which they were all waiting to achieve. Nettles had simply left her container and continued to guide the group from that next level.
So they just twisted it into like a positive, you know?
Yeah, she was still speaking
Sure.
to Applewhite.
So, and that's the whole thing. I mean, that was the ultimate pivot. And it was like, look, man, if we're all extraterrestrial and we're all just carrying we're all just walking around in, meat pockets, hot pockets or
Right.
meat sacks.
Mm-hmm.
But really, we're going to ultimately ascend back up into, extraterrestrial land. She just beat us to it. She just left her container.
Right.
So she's ascended. We all hope to get there someday.
Which what we pretty much. I mean, we learn that as Catholics too. Like this is just a outer shell.
Sure.
And then we will
remember,
ascend.
man, that you are dust, and to dust you shall return. Fun fact: Nettles had actually she had an eye surgically removed in 1983 as a result of that cancer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she had like Sammy Davis. She had her right eye removed, and there was a glass eye put in there.
Wow.
Listen here, man.
Hey, man,
Looky.
We're having a Cannonball Run flashback.
it's groovy, man.
That's terrible, Sammy
Yeah,
Davis.
that's the best
But
I
those
can
are
do.
those are great though. Looky here. I don't even... All right, that's Sammy Davis Jr.
I wish I could look at here, but my eyeball is glass.
Petition my cocktail here, saying.
Okay,
like an ice.
there was like an old Depression era gangster in there. Yeah, see.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Look here, Muggsy.
That's delicious with a cherry on top, saying.
Okay, Candyman, let's go.
That's a good song.
Great song. So throughout the late 80s and the early 90s, Heaven's Gate became increasingly secretive. They adopted a more secluded lifestyle as public interest in their activities began to grow. They began to integrate new technological tools into their daily practices. Members became adept at using computers and the internet, creating a significant online presence that expanded their reach. Now, for money, they offered web development services through a business called Higher Source, thereby generating funds to support their commune while spreading their message online. Alas, this proved to be bad for Applewhite's pride, as internet trolling had already begun, and most people found his teachings to be ludicrous.
Yeah. I can see that online.
Yeah, come on, man. Seriously.
Right.
What did you expect? You're trying to push this on. You're trying to push a website that, believe in this, and now you're going to get butthurt because you're getting reactions and people posting about your website like you're crazy.
Yeah, but you didn't have to bring Ludacris into this. He didn't do anything.
The rapper.
He didn't do anything to anybody.
That's fair. That's fair. My apologies, Ludacris.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
With the internet, though, it doesn't matter how good anything you're doing. No matter what you're putting out there, there's going to be somebody that
Haters going to hate.
Haters going to hate. Bitter, whatever. Like our rating, we're at a 4.9 because somebody felt they had to give us a 1-star
Yep.
rating. One person. Right? You know what I'm saying? It's just like, really? 1 star?
Somebody gave us 1 star.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Well, somebody did, because every other one is like 5-star, 4-star. You know what I mean? We would be at 5 stars, but somebody gave us a 1-star.
So that dude's a bitch. I can tell you.
Right.
And I hope
maybe it's a girl.
I hope he.
Yeah,
Look, and I hope that I hope he or she or the he she maybe they're going through a gender transition.
Right.
Need to. Why don't they put their name out there?
Yeah.
I'll come and punch him in the throat.
Listen here, 1-star.
Yeah.
We know you're out there.
I'll punch you in the throat.
I mean, it could have been my mom. Just saying. But I'm just saying.
I'm going to give you 5, Davey. Oops, wrong button.
By mistake. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. It could have been a big mistake.
It could have been my mom.
Sorry, guys. My mom messed up.
She thought 1 was better.
Oh, it's
Yeah, like
so
DEF
you
CON.
know. Oh, it's like DEF CON.
Right.
Dave knows
Pretty
who the
much.
1-star. You are awesome. 1-star.
Yeah.
You're great.
You're a 1-star.
You're the number one.
Yeah, number 1.
star.
You're not as confused.
You're not 5th place. You're not 5th place. You're first place.
First place.
This
1 star.
world is screwed up, man.
We'll chalk it up to that.
Yeah.
But back to the original point is like, this guy's going online. You're going to get negative reaction.
I promise you, I'm not going to punch your mom in the throat.
No.
right.
She didn't mean it.
Yeah, but online for cults, man, that's a positive and a negative. I mean, it's it's a 50-50.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, you're
true.
going to get more people.
It's a
but
shot in the dark, man.
You're going to get a lot of backlash too.
But that's anything in life. You always you think you got something great, and then you get it on the internet, and then it's garbage.
Garbage.
That's the other thing too. So these always seem to be out, these like compounds, and they're always out like away from everybody, correct?
Shit, yeah.
And this was no different.
This was no different. Now, again, these guys were. So by now, however, so if we're talking, where are we at here? We're in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
So at some point back in the 70s, one begs the question, how are these guys carrying on? How are they buying computers? Where are they living? Like, how is this happening that they're able to start up this internet bank and all these, they're doing all this shit? There was one of the members back in the 70s had died, and that member was apparently well-to-do. So this group, they willed everything to the group, and so these
They're
two
living off of it.
they got a significant inheritance from one of these now dead members, so they were just living off of that.
And I think beforehand it was kind of like the Manson thing, where they're like taking odd jobs,
doing whatever.
it's just doing whatever to try to put the money for the cult.
That is correct.
I wrote that down there. Where's the income?
Yeah,
And that makes sense.
back in the 70s, somebody died and left a pretty vast inheritance to these guys.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, with that inheritance, they ended up living in New Mexico for a few months in the later half of 1995.
You were there.
You think
Not Old Mexico, but New Mexico, the shiny one.
Yeah, the New Mexico. Do you think that's a lot with like the Area 51, like the alien thing? Like they feel closer to.
Would not surprise me.
Well, you were there in New Mexico in 1995.
Yes, I was.
I
Yeah.
wrote that down there, Matt. So
I might have been chilling with these cats. I don't know. There's a lot.
Dude, so they were there building a monastery. Did you happen to see them building a monastery in New
No, I
Mexico?
did not see that.
Well, it's good because
Mexico's
that failed.
pretty vast.
They were only there for a couple of months, and that attempt failed.
Okay.
Mm.
Maybe it was one of them that roughed you up at the vending machine.
Yeah, that was in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Oh, okay.
That was
Oh.
an attempted robbery.
Gotcha.
Damn, you jacked.
I was jacked.
You got jacked for a soda.
But I just got them a soda. I was just like, here, I'll just buy you a soda,
take the
man.
Coke.
Just take the Coke. It's cool.
After the failed attempt to build a monastery in New Mexico, they relocated to San Diego, which means whale's vagina.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
In
No.
Spanish?
yeah.
No. There's all them sands again. That's Saint Diego.
Saint Diego. So
Saint
San Diego, you've never seen Anchorman?
I mean, I probably did. I don't remember.
Ron Burgundy?
You've never seen
Yeah,
Ron Burgundy?
I'm going to be straight up with you guys. Like,
Now tell me.
A lot of those like comedies like that, I'm not like, I mean, Will Ferrell's okay,
Yeah.
but I'm not like a huge fan.
I
Like,
get it.
I know I caught it like bits and pieces of it, you know what I'm saying?
I got
But
you.
I'm not like the type to sit down.
What about
and, like,
Step Brothers?
I saw that one. I actually just saw that recently.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Yeah, like maybe like within a year.
It's not for everybody. Dave's
No,
busy watching
that one I
football.
did like. I did like that one though.
All right.
That was on the boat when they're on the boat.
Catalina wine mixer, man.
That's right.
Yeah.
Boats and hose.
But yeah, San Diego.
San Diego. So that's Saint Diego.
Yes.
By now, there were a little more than 40 members in total. So they were up in the hundreds,
Damn.
but these, people just skipped out.
These are the real believers, man.
These are
this is
the-
a 40 strong.
These are the true. In October 1996, the group rented a mansion for itself in the same area, and they now had a place to call home. So they went from New Mexico to, so they were in wherever the hell they were. Then they moved to New Mexico, tried to build a monastery. They were there for a couple of months, failed, moved to San Diego, and rented a mansion.
Damn. That couldn't be cheap. You know what I'm saying? That real estate
prior
there.
to that. So, dude,
Like
prior
Zap
to
said,
this-
they got some money. Somebody gave them
correct
shit ton.
Well, again, they had an inheritance money. Plus, they were doing that internet shit.
Oh, that's true. So they're making more money now.
They were
Yeah.
doing web development services. This is at a time when the internet is just starting.
Yeah,
Infancy.
it's a baby.
So if nobody knows shit about making a web page or whatever, I mean, which no one or very few did, they were offering that service.
Yeah, they were like Silicon Valley, like the show.
The-
You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I love that
Doors
show.
go like this.
Doors go like this.
When was that out?
What, Silicon Valley?
Yeah.
The show?
Maybe-
Yeah, the show.
Like maybe 10 years
I was
ago.
gonna say,
Yeah, it was,
8
that
to
was
10
a
years
while, yeah, it was a while
ago.
back.
So prior to renting these mansions, prior to renting this mansion,
Yeah, I was like, damn,
they
cash flow.
they actually had lived in, again, as these guys were moving and shaking from town to town to town, both trying to get members and trying to avoid scrutiny and, because these guys are basically a traveling circus, right?
Right,
They'll go to a town, try to recruit members, and they will get shooed out of town. Absolutely, just get the hell out of here. Get you and your weird alien ways. Get the hell out of our town.
Mm-hmm.
You're laughable. You're a joke. Get out. They would rent houses like either next door to multiple houses, a couple of houses like next door to each other, or like one really big house, not necessarily a mansion, but one big one that everyone lived inside, like in bunks. So there's just who knows how many people are inside, but you only ever see one or two. It's like something, if you don't want to let your landlord know that you got a bunch of people squatting at your house, but your landlord is paying the water bill and paying the sewer
If the
bill.
9 cars don't give it away.
Correct.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of like,
in order to avoid that scrutiny or to let people know like where they were or who they were or where missing family members of other people were, that everyone was just in seclusion in these random houses.
so the lease says 4 people and there's 28 living
Correct.
there. What I got you.
Correct.
Makes sense.
Yep. And they were working on internet banks and shit like that.
I think that water bill be high though.
Sure, probably.
Unless they're not showering. Stinky
Lot
call
of-
people.
That recycling bin overflowing.
Yeah.
Take that shit out.
Maybe it was weekly showers.
It could have been too.
It could have been in the
Yeah.
rules. Remember, a lot of rules.
That's right. No showers, no razors.
If they're not having the nasty,
No
then
junk.
they probably don't take care too much.
All right. Well, let's follow that comet. In 1995, a comet had been discovered by 2 astronomers, Alan Hale and Thomas Bopp. Now, note that's Alan Hale, not the same guy that played the skipper.
That
in
was his
Gilligan's
name, Alan Hale. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I did not know that.
Is that the Gilligan
Correct.
skipper too? The millionaire and his wife?
Just the skipper in this part.
Okay.
Not him, though.
Not him.
Same name, different person. The Hale-Bopp comet became visible to the naked eye in May of 1996. The arrival of the comet was interpreted by Applewhite as the long-awaited sign that their time on Earth was concluding. Applewhite announced that a spacecraft trailing the Hale-Bopp comet was coming to transport them to the next level. Even so, that Nettles was on a spaceship waiting for them. Meticulous preparations for the group's final journey would soon begin. So these dudes hear that a comet's flying by, Hale-Bopp comet.
I would have just said the comet. I wouldn't have brought the spaceship and everything else into it. I just said, the comet's coming to Earth. We're getting ready to go.
He's
Right.
well, dude. He got.
He's talking spacecraft.
He's
with Nettles.
milking this. He's
yeah,
like,
he
dude,
is. He is.
There's like a trailing right behind that comet. Yeah, Nettles is up there, or T. She's right behind it. She's going to be trailing as soon as it's coming in. Man, she's coming in for us. She's going to come get us.
But it was falling into place for Applewhite because it was so good. He's like, dude, look at this comet. It's right there. It's on TV. Look, they have it right there. They're like, wow, man, you're right.
He's right on with
I
it.
think
Yeah.
this guy needed something spectacular to happen because he was running out of shit to do. Honestly,
He did when he heard the time. I think, like the timing was right.
maybe the members were getting antsy and pantsy. I don't know, man. I don't know.
I did hear that he was comparing like humans' time on Earth to the seasons on Earth, like how we go, like the Earth goes through different seasons,
Yeah.
and that's how like humankind now our seasons up. We're getting ready for a new change.
Okay.
Earth will still be here, but our seasons ending.
Be like
For
the dinosaurs are coming
humankind.
back.
Yeah,
Or
Oh,
like
I see.
Fish will be on
Basically,
land.
yeah.
I can dig that. I can dig that.
It's
Like,
kinda-
I mean, look, there were ice ages. There, the Paleolithic age. There's the Stone Age.
Right.
Right.
And a million years from now, who knows? Who knows? Will be
Who
here.
knows what'll be
Those
here, but-
goats, or I don't know, something
Mm.
crazy.
Speaking of crazy, In late March 1997, the group produced a series of videotapes in which members expressed their willingness to depart from their earthly bodies and their excitement about the journey ahead, with the intent of explaining their decision and beliefs to the world. Members were encouraged to share their stories, all the while displaying unwavering faith in Applewhite's leadership, his gospel, and their collective destiny. Beginning on March 22nd, 1997, 39 members of Heaven's Gate, including Applewhite, participated in a carefully orchestrated mass suicide at their rented mansion. With the help of a lethal mixture of phenobarbital and vodka, they believed they would release their souls to board the awaiting spacecraft. On March 26th, 1997, authorities raided the mansion thanks to a tip from a former member who'd received instructions to check on the group. The group members were found lying peacefully in their bunk beds, each covered with a purple cloth. Applewhite's body was found seated on the end of the bed on the mansion's master bedroom. All members had dressed uniformly in black clothing and Nike sneakers, with armbands reading, Heaven's Gate Away Team.
Go team.
All members were found with bags over their heads. It was later determined that Applewhite had been assisted by 3 others for his suicide, making him the 4th to last member to die.
Yeah, I know they said they died in like they took like, you know, little groups. Like one would go and then the next few would go and but they would check on like the first group to go, they would go and check on them, make sure they died.
Everybody dead? Cool.
Go. All right, next group. And they would go until the last ones. I guess they didn't have the bags on their head. So there's nobody to put the bags on.
There's so many of these, the videos that these guys made, right? So it's basically like they're, hey, look, Mom, I haven't seen you in a while, but I'm going to be dying soon. I'm going to be heading up to, like, I'm on the Heaven's Gate away team.
I'm going to be heading out, but I wanted to say goodbye.
I'm going to be peacing out, wanted to say goodbye, but I also wanted to say how much I, love this religion. I'm so into this. I can't believe that it's finally happening. I'm going to leave my earthly body and go up to space and hang out with Nettles or T, whatever she called herself at the time,
right?
Who was dead from cancer. We're going to go hang out in space. So good to see it. So many of these videos are on YouTube.
Yeah, they're on YouTube. That's where you can
absolutely
watch them.
see these. And these people, like when they refer to themselves as their weird ass names, it's just fucking bizarre.
But
what are they called? Yodas or something.
Odie.
Yeah.
But as Zap was referencing to, like on YouTube, you can see that, and there's also on the Max documentary, they were showing like the former members that were kind of like, when they started talking about this, they're like, nah, man, I'm good. Like
they didn't want to do it.
Yeah, they're like, here, give me my suit. I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick and like getting the hell out of there.
Get the hell out of there.
But they were saying like, you believe so much in this until the point where the guy's like kind of like taking your life, or we're going to get on this ship, and they're kind of like, wait, hold on, what do we got to do?
Oh, hold on a sec.
And then after you drink this and stuff, be like, wait, that means I'll be dead.
Yeah.
Right.
And they were like, I don't want any part of that.
Yeah. I mean, you think you would definitely wise up at that point. Like,
yeah, when you're going to die, like shit gets real. You're kind of like, I don't know. Let me double think this.
But fun fact on those sneakers. So those Nike sneakers.
Yeah.
It was a 1993 what would you call that when you're like
the series or whatever?
Yeah, the series.
They make like SBs, they make low dunks, they make whatever.
They were called the Nike Decades.
Okay.
Okay. And so 1993, he bought them in bulk because they were like, I guess they weren't selling well. I guess he got a good deal on them.
Sure.
Everything they would do, obviously, they buy in bulk.
Sure.
So they were bought up in bulk. After Nike found out about this, they kind of bought them all back. All the ones that were out there, they kind of tried to make this go away. It's not good PR for Nike.
No, it is not.
So if you can find a pair of these, they're worth like a ton of money. There's currently a pair, a size 12, I think they were on eBay right now for $6,660.
Nice,
right?
of course.
So they're probably not going to sell.
I want to see if I can't find them on StockX.
Yeah, you might get a better deal.
6,600. I had that also.
Yeah. There was a pair for $1,500 I saw on there as well on eBay. I don't know if they're authentic.
Now, if I could get myself a hand on one of those Heaven's Gate away team patches, now that I would pay some money for that. I got no problem paying money for that.
Facebook Marketplace probably has a few.
I mean, you could probably get them made up. I'm sure somebody probably had them made up.
I want one of the OG ones.
The authentic ones.
From the dead body.
You can even get ones that aren't like 93, like the vintage 1990s, and they're still like 1,000. Yeah,
that's probably the one I saw. But Yeah, for Nike, like it wasn't a good thing. But for the collector's market, when something like that happens,
any publicity is good publicity.
Should you?
I was trying to
think
of other examples of like notorious, well, like OJ with the White Bronco. All of a sudden, then White Broncos are worth like they have a little bit of value when you can tie it to a crime.
I still look around. I still look around for the '94 Bronco.
For the White Bronco,
100%.
What were the issue? The Giorgio Brunellis or
the Brutinis?
Giorgio Brutinis.
Well, no, Giorgio Brutini, I think
that was the ones that we used to wear in like high school.
Those are the ones you get at Payless.
Yeah, right. Giorgio Brunelli. There was some
metal
Italian.
tip.
The metal tip, yes.
Just the tip.
The Bruno Mali.
There it is.
Thank you, Dave. You always know the urban fashion.
The brand.
And then his gloves were like some sort of like special Italian pair or something too. And they became like a taboo.
Oh, the ones that
they
didn't fit though.
No, they didn't, but they still became like taboo. I think it was like a pair of what were those like gloves you used to buy people for like
isotoners.
Yeah. Not Michael Jackson's, not a rhinestone glove.
No.
So when this all went down, man, like there was significant, sensationalized and extensive media coverage of this. Like this was
ABC,
massive.
NBC, yeah. They would have shows about it and
absolutely massive. So what was it? Like only a few years later, the Dude, Where's My Car came out. If you ever seen that movie.
Yeah.
So Zoltan, like that whole thing that was going on at that kid's farm or whatever, it smacks exactly of this.
Right.
I mean, that was surely this had inspired that.
like the cult.
And I was just thinking back to the crime.
Zoltan.
Or I shouldn't say crime, but the story that I just did, the Mel's Hole, that was all going on around this same time.
Yep.
On that Art Brooks Coast to Coast. I wonder if they talk about all this stuff on there, on that AM.
Which reminds me, I had mentioned, or I had agreed to the concept when you had mentioned, so that Coast to Coast, yes, certainly it was Art Brooks.
Art Bell, yeah.
Art Bell. I'm sorry, Art Bell. When I was listening, it wasn't necessarily Art Bell. He was referenced, that is to say, the host to which I had listened, or to whom I had listened, revered, obviously, Art for starting it up and doing whatever, but the guy I was listening to at the time was George Norrie.
Okay. He came after them.
Yeah, that's just a clarification on our last podcast there about Mel's Hole.
Mel's Hole, okay. So, yeah, that was about the same time, I know, in 97, but I kind of remember this. I get these cults kind of confused.
Yeah.
Like, did you pick this because of the documentary or because you remembered it from...
I just remembered it. Because like you said, too, I was out in New Mexico at the time.
So it was like big news out there?
Well, no, I mean, I was back by 96, but I just remember, like, it was, I don't know, it just seemed like a...
Because there was ties to the area.
Yeah.
I got you. It was definitely cool. Like, I like these cult ones. We did one a long time ago on the Angel's Landing, I think it was. Mm-hmm. That was in, like, Utah or whatever. I mean, there was the David Koresh.
A lot of these mid-southwest places all got, like, these cults.
There's a couple of cults we still got to do. We still got to do Waco.
Yes, that'd be a big one.
A Waco would definitely be a multi-piece, and I definitely at some point want to do Jonestown.
Yeah, that guy was. There was a lot of people there.
190.
Yeah, that's a lot.
190 something.
That was a strict. What did they drink? The
Kool-Aid.
Yeah, they drank the Kool-Aid, but it was the strychnine or whatever lace with strychnine. Or
was that Mike Jones or whatever?
I'm Mike Jones.
Somebody Jones. Yeah, Jim Jones.
Jim Jones.
Okay. Yeah, there are a lot of those cult. And we would say Manson, I mean, that was called. I always picture, like, there's nobody around. You're out on this compound, like, sitting out, like, with birds chirping and looking out at the landscape, talking shit.
Yeah.
Like, I've never really heard about a cult, like, in a city where people can get to you and, like, talk you out of shit. I guess the big thing with
gangs?
Well, not even that, but just, like, I guess the big thing with these cults is to, like, cut these people off from everybody.
Yeah.
So that you can basically go in and kind of,
We should do like that. That's kind of interesting what, like Zap said, like the gangs, like the Bloods or the Crips. Like, that'd be something interesting to do.
It's not as culty.
But it's
like
still...
the belief is, the motivation is, money.
The motivation is different, yeah.
Money and
but it's not,
it's
not like believing you're going to go somewhere extra special if you're one of the teammates.
So there's a couple of significant things to consider here. It's like, the chicken versus the egg in this. Mm-hmm. So, like, let's talk about Applewhite, right, for just a moment. So you look at it one of two ways. Either, some people think that he was just this, actually like a visionary leader. He just had a unique and, a unique theological perspective that we would call fucking crazy.
Right.
But that was just his perspective. But yet to other people,
it hits something in them. It strikes a nerve somewhere where it's like, oh.
To other people, however, he was deluded and manipulative, and he ended up just leading these people to a tragic end. I don't know if he was necessarily doing things with the idea of being manipulative, but was he? Like, was this his chance to live up to be that preacher that he couldn't be when he was, got busted for being gay?
Right.
Or did he really believe, like, maybe that was so into his mind that people looked at him and he was like, this is it. This is what's going to happen. Or was it, like Zap said, was it a time where it's like, oh, this could be my out? Like, right here, we have the comet come in and, let's just make this shit up. I don't know.
Well, here's the say, too, like, we're here talking about it like it didn't happen. Maybe it really happened. Maybe they ended up. Maybe they.
We don't know.
Like, how do you know for sure?
You're right.
I mean, we're saying, and everybody here that's alive and well on Earth is going, oh, these people were crazy and stuff. But maybe we're the crazy ones.
What is it like? No, Stephen Hawking's right. We're like on, and I think Jennifer Tilly said it in Johnny Be Good. Like, we're on like the 9 different parallels.
Yeah.
Like, there's however many multiverses going around our one universe into. So we don't know. I mean, we're, like you said, we might be pawns in this whole game. We might be put here by aliens. You never know.
Right.
We don't know.
You don't even know.
You don't know.
There's this guy. This guy definitely did a full circle, though, right?
Yeah.
So his intent, like, this guy's a little kid, right? Little kid. He's like, he looks up to his old man, who's this preacher. He's like, man, when I grow up, I want to be my I want to be
just
like my dad, because dad is respected, dad is revered in the community. Like, he's so close with God, and oh man, I want to be just like that. He lives this life where he fails. He finally gets to have his own. Fuck it, I'm doing it my way. I'm going to have my own religion. He ended up getting what he ultimately wanted when he was a little kid. Think about that. Like, when we were little kids, man, I want to grow up and be a fireman. I want to be a policeman. I want to be an astronaut. I want to be, you name it. This guy,
He made it.
he grew up to be whatever he wanted to be.
He made it.
Yeah, you're right.
It does, however, this whole story, in my opinion, and we talked about this really does highlight the vulnerabilities of people.
Yes.
Like, especially when they come across somebody who's in a position of, in fact, the spiritual authority, anything like that, or people just looking for some sort of fulfillment in their lives.
From being a loner or a rebel Dottie to
Right.
being a part of something.
Right. Not even the rebel. Again, more just kicked out,
Yeah.
Yeah.
tossed away, not wanted.
Yeah, or a feeling of I'm on this big place all alone, and then there's people like, no, you're with us, and you're like, oh, that feels good.
I belong. Yeah.
Yeah,
It does equally, though, to something you had mentioned, Dave. It just, again, in my humble opinion, I think it does speak to certainly the potential dangers, maybe, of living in that isolated community, and the what's going to happen then when you have the influence of that charismatic leadership combined with that. When you again, and also with those susceptible sheep, for lack of a better word. Again, when the two leaders call themselves Bo and Peep,
Yeah.
it's, you kind of know what they're going to be doing. I think they even mentioned that at one point.
that's flocking crazy.
Yeah.
It is flocking crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. They dead, and maybe they are flying around behind the Hale Bop.
They are. They
Comet.
could be up there. I mean, I like that's good, Dave. I like to think that.
I think
Yeah.
Hanson might have written a song about that.
Yeah, hell bop, dop, 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 doo, dop.
Hey guys, can you wrap it up?
Man, she's right.
Ooh, right on time.
I'm glad, because I'm tired. I'm rambling on it. I'm getting all philosophical about what sheep and eggs and chicken and eggs. What's coming first? What causes what?
Well, this is definitely a deep one for sure. So it's not one that you can really breeze through. There's a lot to unpack, like we talked about.
It's like 9 o'clock on a school night. It's crazy shit.
I know. But Matt, that was great, man. That was a good one to pick.
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoyed it.
I did, man. I enjoyed it.
A little hell bop in your life never hurt nobody.
I'm still amazed at the parallels between this and Johnny Be Good.
Yeah,
There was
right?
like, I don't know,
It's
Texas
man.
is everywhere, man.
It's just bananas.
Who knew? But yeah, we'll be back again with another true crime and movie, a Zap's pick this time. So we'll find out.
It's like a double zap pick.
Yeah, we're gonna get zapped. So don't forget to.
It's like a zap double team.
That's right.
Is that possible? It's possible if you're Frank Lentini.
What?
If you're what?
It's only possible if you're Frank Lentini.
Frank Lantini.
I don't get it.
So, you don't know who Francesco Lentini? So, in my opinion, probably should be the most underrated and overlooked, and should be in my opinion, the most famous Italian American in of all time.
Sound like a drink, like the Frank Lentini.
So Frank Lentini, Francesco Lentini, look him up.
I'll have to look him up.
Yeah,
Dude,
this could be a whole story.
Dude, Frank Lentini. Wait, give me a second. How did this work? He was born with
The double D?
Frank Lentini. He was born with 3 legs, 4 feet, 16 toes, and 2 dicks.
Wow.
How do we not know of this person?
3 legs, 4 feet, 16 toes, and 2 dicks. Frank Lentini. He was the king of the circus freaks.
So he
American
was
performer, yeah.
Yeah, he would have been in with
Francesco Frank Lentini.
like Lobster Boy. He would have been in there. But yeah, that's pretty wild.
He had 2 junks. He was so again in his fame, he was able to it was the result of what's called a parasitic twin.
He was born with a conjoined twin.
Yeah,
okay.
so
he's like 2 in 1.
Correct.
Like,
so the twin that should have lived died, but then latched onto the back of to his spine. So the third leg was sticking out of the base of his spine, and the third leg had 2 feet on it. One was at the side of the kneecap.
Oh wow, that's wild.
He said, "I kick you from behind."
Actually, he could. So since you mentioned
He'd be
that,
a hell of a drummer, man.
he actually was really good at his trick his shtick. He was able to kick a football with that third leg. He would jump. He would walk past the football, kick it with the leg over his head ahead of him.
Yeah.
So again, dude, he was the king of the circus freaks. 2 dicks.
Wow. He was in Barnum and Bailey and Buffalo Bills. That was like a thing back in the day. Buffalo Bills Wild Side Show or what show? Yeah.
Frank Lentini.
I am Frank Lentini. How do we not do this guy on a?
He could be a good breakdancer.
Yeah.
He in and of himself is a compelling story, but we're going off the rails.
We're way off.
Again, Mrs. Dave's clock's ticking here. Mrs. Dave's coming down.
She's coming down now. So at any rate, don't forget to find us on Facebook and Instagram at Old Dirty Basement Podcast. I guess that's it for now. So we'll catch you where?
On the flip side.
If we don't see you sooner, we'll see you later.
Peace. Thanks for hanging out in the Old Dirty Basement. If you dig our theme music like we do, check out the Tsunami Experiment. Find them on Facebook. Their music is available streaming on Spotify and Apple, and where great music is available.
You can find us at Old Dirty Basement on Facebook and Instagram, and at Old Dirty Basement Podcast on TikTok.
Peace.
We Audi 5000.